Ladies and gentlemen, we are back, episode 2 of DNR. Hope you're enjoying this show. Other shows that just started, Ben the Bane Davis was on the challenge, episode 0. I hope all of you tuned in. We're going to be giving you some of the inside scoop of what was going on behind the scenes. Ben, you seem to be an expert about what was going on behind the scenes because they just didn't show you at all in the episode.
They knew that I was so
you.
intertwined. Yeah, man. I mean, I might have been the greatest background character ever this episode. I think the 10 seconds I had was that interrogation, them flashing the graphic of me being in 12th place on the hike, and then and then me standing next to a pool table chatting with some people with the world's worst muffin top.
Your moments were great though, because first off, when you sat down and you were in full Ben the Bane Davis fit for the interrogation, dude, that was so nostalgic for me. I loved that. I was like, that's so funny. And you were like,
he walked right off a Misfits set into
Ben.
Yeah,
right into this. I was like, you are, dog. I was so pumped. But even on the mountain for your 2 seconds, you were hyping people up. You know, you were being supportive. You were being a good guy. So I like that.
That was kind of the role that I really comfortably slotted into because I ran up and down the mountain with Turbo, Cara Maria, and D. And I think there was somebody else with us at one point, unsure, but like that was the core group that I just by pacing. Like there were people going way faster, people going way slower, but we all just had the same pace. And I just wanted to make sure that because it was so difficult, it was so challenging, like it sucked. We talked about this in the pre-episode 1 episode 0 episode where like you're bear crawling. That was a very steep incline, and I wanted to make sure that everybody felt as supported as possible. But it was kind of funny because I didn't know I was in 12th. I didn't realize I was in 12th when I touched the rock, and it really pissed me off because I ended that 15th, I think. So you saw, I think.
But I guess if you guys were all together and they kind of just edge you out right at the end, that's kind of a little bit of bullshit.
No, that wasn't even what happened. The Cara, D, Turbo was ahead of us anyways, but like Cara and D didn't get ahead of me. It was Leo and Will and one other person that had caught up and then passed us on the way down the mountain. And so I was just like, fuck, man, because I watched them go by, but you don't have an understanding of where you are in kind of the order. And so if I knew that, okay, Turbo is 11th, I could finish 12th, right behind a beast like him, a challenge champion, I think that would have really set the tone better than, I was a little cautious. The reason why I dropped those 3 spots is I was being a little cautious on the way down. Because it's steep, it's loose rocks, I was just like, dude, it's not worth blowing my ankle out, blowing an ACL. We have, that's kind of what Naya echoes, where she's in her fucking jeans. She's like, this is not worth going hard on. That was the sentiment I had going down. And like, for instance, Michaela, she was on her butt, bro, just like scooting down the mountain.
Just launching it.
Literally, man. It's like if you were sledding. That's what she was doing, just with no sled. It was crazy. And so, I don't know. Am I a little mad that I dropped those 3 spots on the end? Sure. Does it matter? No, not at all. It has no real relevance because, again, what did that mean, Riley? It just meant the picking order. And whether I came in 12th or 15th, I was not going to get to select my partner.
Yeah, I mean, the guy who won, you said it took you like 7 hours. Buddy who won was like an hour and 22 minutes. I mean, when I saw he was an ultra runner, I was like, okay, that explains a little bit of everything, because it's like that type of task is such a specific style of training that you have to do to excel at it. Like, not lifting weights, not doing CrossFit, like you have to just pound pavement and climb hills. And if you don't do that, you're not going to be prepared for it. And ultras are often like up and down, all that crap. So, I mean, it happened to me the other day. Like I said, I was going on a hike out here, so I'm going to get more into hiking because it's like, it kicked my ass, man. I hadn't hiked a mountain, and I can't even tell you when the last time I did. And it kicked my ass. I was like, oh my God. Watching that dude do that in an hour and a half, he was a freak. That was...
Dude.
Was he way ahead of everybody else? How big was
so far
I guess that's the question, is like, how big was the chain, right? Like, is this guy like an hour before number 2 and then number 3 is an hour after him? 'Cause I saw our boy Jake was number 3 and I was like, damn, okay.
Jake's cooking. And Jake's the guy that does CrossFit. He competes in like high rocks events. So like that's the guy that really, obviously with the boxing, he's gotten his cardio really well. So he is a physical specimen too. But the gap that Jeremy had on the rest of the cast was pretty fucking insane. He lapped everybody. Like I think Izzy had reached the summit, but even Jake was kind of far behind them. And like we were maybe halfway up this mountain, 60% of the way up the mountain, and he's jogging down. Again, I just talked about how careful I was being. This guy's just like, hey, everybody. And I was like, no way. Additionally, with his training, his background in ultramarathon, being on the Amazing Race, he also is a huge Spartan race guy. So he's done many Spartan races, trains for those all the time, which is similar.
And a Marine, too, wasn't he?
And a Marine,
He was a Marine,
yeah.
He's
5
done
of the
that a
8 male
million
rookies
times.
served in the military, which, again, as I've bitched about, is crazy.
That's not fair.
Yeah, no, I'm like, come on, man. But he's like Yermi specimen, hour 20 on that. I was a little hyperbolic in saying it was a 7-hour hike. Maybe if I was going to be more accurate and estimate, I'd say 3.5 to 4 hours. I would say that's probably about what it.
It's a grind, though,
clocked out to
man.
for me. Yeah. And before we get into what happens after the hike, we can take it back a little bit before to the interrogations. Like you mentioned, I had the Ben the Bane fit. I told everybody I was bringing the turtleneck. Did I tell you? Did I mention I was like, I'm bringing the fucking turtleneck to Chile?
I think I'm sure you must have, but I still wasn't ready for it. Like when I saw it, I was like, that's so awesome. Like turtleneck plus blazer, like the whole fit.
Whole fucking fit. I had the shoes too, man. I had the belt. Like I really just brought that outfit one for one. And I will say, like, there's a few outfits I had this season, the nights out, that I was really excited about. You know, no one gives a shit about the fashion, but I was like, I gotta look good. So the sleeveless turtleneck will be making an appearance. I don't know what episode, but it's out there. It looks good. But here's the thing with that interrogation, dude, is we were sitting in this like green room that was hot as fuck. There was no fans or anything, and we had to change into this clothing that we had brought. So like that turtleneck, the red blazer, had brought that before. Everybody else had their outfits. And so we're just sitting in this green room, and one by one they bring you into this interrogation setting, which was like dimly lit. It was like a 1950s detective noir style set. And so I didn't know what the vibe was going to be. They had told you in the green room, think like 3 words about yourself. And so I was assuming it'd be some sort of questionnaire, right? And as I'm standing outside ready to go in, they have you close your eyes. I hear America went right before me in the interrogation.
Crazy name, sobbing.
By the way. America Chavez.
Name. Yeah.
we had the United States representing.
Yeah.
But dude, she's like sobbing, crying, and I'm hearing all this. And so as she like walks by me, sniffling and tearing up, I was just thinking to myself, like, what could have possibly
what did they
her
do
down
in there?
Yeah, dude. I was like, what's gonna happen to me?
It's just like it's like that one of those CIA fucking at Guantanamo Bay. They're just blasting
I get
music.
like roped
yeah, they
up.
hang you up. Yeah. Blasting music, start waterboarding you.
Yeah,
what are you doing here?
Tell us what the numbers mean. I'm like, oh no. I initially thought I was like, maybe, and this is so ridiculous for my brain to have gone here, but I'm standing out there listening to her crying, and I was like, did they bring our family and friends down to say goodbye?
Day one.
Day one.
Don't even give you any time to miss them. Just day one.
I'm like, how did you guys get to Chile? But so I get in there, and I just didn't know what tone it was going to be. And like TJ was very serious, so I chose to match that energy and be very serious too. I mean, I was locked in. I spoke at a pretty reserved candor. And so when I'm watching this episode 0 and everybody's coming in with like fun and laughing and they're handshaking TJ and giggling, I was like, damn, dude, I might have chosen the wrong
those
approach.
Are all the people that got airtime too.
Yeah.
Right? Like
yeah. So I let my hair down a bit quite quickly. I get loose. I get loosey goosey as the show goes on. But that interrogation, I was just like, and they asked us more questions than what was shown. Obviously,
well, it'll keep going, right? I imagine that it'll come back to the interrogation at other points of the show. That's my guess.
I would hope so, because it's good info. It's good context. I think I saw a lot of people online saying, and we'll get to some of the fan reactions, that, man, why is this episode 0? This feels like it could be the premiere, episode 1. Like, this is great backstory, compelling plot with this hike to decide the order. And I would be ashamed if they don't cut back to this and don't feature those confessionals just so that the audience can get accustomed. But I remember the one thing that I'd said, and who knows if this is going to come out in the episodes and be a theme, but like the one narrative I was drawing and really trying to go for was I don't need reality TV experience to be successful on this show. That was kind of the whole driving force. I was like, I'm here to prove that you can just come off the street and be competitive against people like Johnny Bananas, who have had 25 seasons, or CT, who's won it 5 times. Like, that was the whole angle of being Mr. Relatable, Mr. Everyday Guy, the average Joe. I was kind of sad that was cut out.
Yeah, they were like, we don't really give a shit about that, Ben. All right, back to the
back
to the mountain.
But yeah,
let's,
so I think
before we I've just for people that maybe didn't watch the full episode or whatever, let's give a quick structure of what happened on this day. Obviously, you guys show up, they immediately just throw you at this mountain. You do the mountain, and then you're back home. You have the night to hang out together before you pick teams, correct?
Yeah. So what occurred was, and maybe this is too inside baseball and pulling back the curtain on the day, but like we show up and it really was almost as abrupt as shown in the episode. Like the episode 0 starts immediately on the mountain. Like there isn't an intro.
Exactly. I was actually blown away because when I started watching it, I'm kind of on my phone like, all right, well, this thing will pop off in a second. And immediately it's like, this is the fucking mountain. These are the boys climbing it. And I was like, whoa. I was like, okay. And then and then it's like 30 seconds later, you guys are halfway up the mountain, and that buddy's done already. And then it was really blew my mind. They threw it at you. So it's interesting to know they didn't start at all.
Yeah, he was done with the mountain 9 minutes into the episode.
Yeah, he's like, I'm cool with this. I'm done here.
Easy. I've actually run this 3 times already. No, it was
goes back.
It was funny.
Goes back, tries to beat the number 2 guy again.
He could have. So I'll get to the structure of it all. But like, if Jeremy wanted to run back up and down the mountain, he could have absolutely beaten Anissa, CT, America, the people that were struggling really in the last couple places. Because what had happened was some people got lost because there was a longer trail. You had up the mountain, down the mountain, and then this maybe let's call it a mile run. So half-mile run to get to the mountain, mile run once you're down it to get to this point, the house. And I'm kind of glad that they didn't show this, but here's one thing I did that was a little dastardly, Riley. I did kind of play a villainous card on this run down the mountain. I took one of the signs to show which was the correct way down the path. I took that, me and Cara Maria took the sign and put it somewhere else.
No way.
So
the
when we
villain.
I know. I was like, look, if I could halt some people's progress. And we got down to the mountain, and I start hearing people getting lost, and I was just like, oh no, dude.
We know who did that.
Yeesh.
Here, wait.
Heard people get lost. Felt bad. We had to wait a long time for the last couple competitors because
they were lost.
They got lost, dude. They got turned around on one of the points. Maybe that was my fault. Maybe that wasn't.
Hold on, pause. Yeah, you just said they got turned around. They got lost. You pointed them in the wrong direction. Like, that's on you. They didn't miraculously get lost.
How did you guys not know the trail? Yeah. Like, as I'm plucking and turning signs around. So I felt really bad because like we were all, everyone that had finished was like sitting down on this road, just waiting. Eventually we had to board the buses and wait further inside the buses. So it really was like this whole long process for the last couple of people, which I felt, if that was my fault, I do feel very bad. But
it does seem like one of the girls, like the girl who came last, it seemed like she didn't give a shit at all. Like she seemed to go incredibly slowly.
Yeah, I think you mean Naya with the jeans?
Yeah.
She was so over it before it had even begun because it wasn't. Nobody knew that we were running up a mountain. Like, this wasn't something we were told beforehand. All they had given us was, hey, wear what you'd wear to the airport, on this first day of filming. Like, show up for what you'd wear to a short flight, have that be that. So some people were wearing heels. Some people were, all makeup out. She was wearing jeans. Yeah, and so we get there, and like the new threats are standing. The vets come in. We do film a little bit of an intro with TJ, and then he literally says, "All right, we're gonna be running up this fucking mountain behind me." And everybody, and I think the vets had initially thought it was just going to be us. I think that's something that Cara had said in the episode where she's like, I wish, the vets got a break and we watched the new threats do it. No, everybody had to do it, and they were pissed off. They were like, usually the seasons start with something easy, right? Like maybe a puzzle or just like a welcome day. Let's all hang out in the house and then pick tomorrow. Not a, 4-hour run at 6,000 feet elevation when it's in the summer, like that was
But
tough.
At the end of the day, too, it's called the challenge. So
right,
if you're showing up and you're like, this is challenging, I mean, that's kind of stupid.
What did you think was going to happen?
Yeah, like, what did you think this show was?
But so, yeah, Naya was in the jeans, hated it, and I think she recognized, like she said, this isn't the most important thing in the world. If this was a purge, if there were, like, spots on the line and they were going to kick people out and eliminate them if they came in last, then I'm sure that those final few people would have had some more steam in the tank. But, like, it seemed pretty obvious that there wasn't going to be an elimination based on this. It was purely just the rankings of the selection. So it's like, why kill yourself? But let's see. Okay, I think after this, we get back to the house, and there is a ridiculous amount of alcohol, like multiple bottles of wine, dozens of beers, no hard liquor, you know what I mean? But like a lot of beer and wine. They made sure we were taken care of.
Which is almost worse. Like, the last thing on earth I want is 4 liters of beer after climbing a mountain.
When you have to go do a challenge like the next day.
Yeah.
But the guy that got the most fucked up on day 0, and it wasn't really shown that much, but it was Will. So Will is one of the new threats. He was from Are You the One? He's so jacked. Will looks like a fucking action figure. And he got so fucked up that at some point in the night, dude, he stopped speaking in like his regular voice, and he started speaking in an Australian accent and didn't stop for like an hour.
Oh my god.
Because someone mentioned he looks like Chris Hemsworth, and then from like it just clicked in his brain and he just became Australian.
He was like, that's all I need. I need one suggestion that I might look a little bit like Chris Hemsworth, and I will now become him. I'm literally Ryan Gosling. Like, yeah, you're right. I'm literally him.
The lightest push possible sent him up.
Yeah.
He was guzzling beers and wines until like 3 a.m. Like I mean, again, I was gone for this entire party, I guess.
Yeah, you're just in the back room somewhere for some reason.
I'm hiding under the covers. I'm like, oh my god.
Yeah.
But I remember walking to the kitchen at like literally 2 a.m, and he was still drinking with Olivia and Theo, and I was just like, this guy's a tank, man. He's a monster. But yeah, it was a really fun first night. I mean, there was so much that happened that, again, I can't really remember all of it. You're meeting everybody for the very first time, people you've seen on TV. Very surreal experience. I didn't observe all of the romanticizing that was going on that night. So I think
Ben, talk to me though, because you're in this setting, you're with a bunch of people. Some people are moving and grooving. Some people are getting drunk. It doesn't. When I was watching it, it doesn't feel like a lot of strategies going on. Like, Bananas is like, look at this fine you know what I mean? Like, he's obviously just like chasing some tail. Like, it just didn't feel like even the vets or people that were previous winners had any real strategy. Like, it just felt like they're like, did a hike, hanging out, free food, free booze. Like, I don't know. It just, so I guess I'm a little curious as to like, was there any strategy? A couple of the girls were definitely like, I'm going to weaponize my assets here. But like, other than that, it felt kind of lax. Like, it didn't feel like there was a ton of strategy. I know it's just like episode 0, but still.
The 3 instances, I would say, of strategy that, after now watching the episode I've seen, and the one that I was directly involved in, was obviously Izzy locked in. I mean, she was thinking Gears returning, and that chat with Olivia, that like this whole UK alliance that her, Jake, and Theo, Olivia, they were all talking about became a big sticking point for probably the first week and a half or so, because this idea of a UK alliance or people just from like a region grouping together immediately for no reason, that's been like a point of contention in past seasons where it just frustrates people where they're like, oh, instantly we've got this huge section of the house already tied together, game over, you know? And so that we explore that a little bit, but it was Izzy and Olivia chatting, and then I would say Jeremy, D, Gabe, and I down in the pool room had a brief, like the briefest of conversations, because there was talk, there was a little bit of talk after the hike had been finished about who people were selecting. Jeremy obviously was getting pestered all night long. Everybody was coming up to him asking, what are you going to do? Who are you picking? And every vet male fucking hated him. Right off the bat. They were like, as they said in their confessionals, he's a problem, you know? And I don't know. I mean, when we were chatting near the pool room, it was just like basic, what are you thinking? Jeremy was in between Aviv and Nani. D was chatting about Johnny, and then obviously you see him in the bed together. So it sort of was like, all right, this has been decided a little bit before, you know.
And was your partner, you'd kind of figured that out, or was, because she picked you?
She did. Nani did select me, and that was a surprise.
Okay, so it was a surprise. That was my question. Like, were you ready for that, or did you have someone else in mind you wanted?
Okay, so here's who I wanted to partner with, and no disrespect to Nani at all, but like I mentioned, I ran up and down that mountain with Cara Maria. She's a 9-time finalist, a 2-time winner of the challenge. This is, I think, her 16th season, so in terms of, like, experience, someone who has seen everything, done everything in the show, it'd be her. And I'd already felt like a really good working relationship with her running up and down this fucking mountain, so I was like, dude, it's kind of, there we go, fits like a puzzle piece. Let's rock and roll. And then I started talking to Jake and Will, and they were all like, yeah, we want Cara as well. And I remember talking with Jake like 2 or 3 times where like we'd be having a conversation. I'd be like,
oh, dude.
But like, you don't have to pick Cara though, right? Like you can pick anybody else, you know? And so like I had like my fingers crossed when we were doing that partner selection process that I would somehow get to pick Cara. Didn't occur. And so I'm thinking, like, I'm sitting there going, oh, I'm going last. After I didn't get her, I was like,
part of me got a little nervous for you, Ben. I was kind of like, I was like, you know, I was seeing the names tick away, and I was like, no, not my boy. Like, you know, but you weren't.
It was like last in dodgeball, just seeing everyone else go first. And I was the 3rd to last male rookie, so out of 8, I think 5th or 6th, which isn't terrible.
Halfway.
And I remember like mentioning, because I was standing right next to Ashley Mitchell, who's won the show twice, and I this is kind of stupid on my part, but I sort of was like, hey, you know, I think both of our people that we'd wanted sort of got selected. Would you want to partner up? And she was like, no. So I'm standing out here in the fucking Chilean desert, just like,
okay, yeah, that sounds good. I was just kidding, actually. Like, whatever, dude. Like,
it was a joke, right?
Yeah, I think you're dumb. I don't even like you that. I don't even like you like that.
So
no. My friend texted you that. That wasn't even me.
Yeah, that was yeah. Here's the letter he sent me. No, so when Nani picked me, I was very happy for a couple reasons. One, I'd seen her compete before. She's obviously been on the show forever. She is very closely connected to Johnny Bananas, which works as a social shield. That's capital. That's a political standing that I'm going to be benefiting from for sure. And it was a little surprising that she didn't get selected because Jeremy was between Aviv and Nani. Those were the 2 names that Jeremy was talking about. Ultimately, he went with Aviv, but because he just kept mentioning Nani so frequently, I was like, oh, one of these guys, Jake or Will or some of the rookies that had finished before me, definitely going to swoop her up. And then that just didn't fucking happen. And so I was like, all right, well, I got Jeremy's second choice, and he just came first, dominated, so can't be too mad.
I thought that was solid. I don't know anything that happens after, but seemed fine to me. Like, whatever.
It is kind of funny that they stopped the episode right there. Sort of all right, now we've got a challenge. coming next week.
Yeah. Well, because I guess it is obvious that this is definitely a setup show. You know, like this wasn't actually the premiere anyways. It's critical to how the whole course of that season will go. So I don't really get that part of it. But, like, it's definitely not, like, the start.
Right. I think that the conventional norm of the challenge is daily challenge, night out, and then some elimination at the end, right? That's the structure. So I get it. I think last thing I want to touch on before we head to some fan reactions on Twitter is there was the weapon that's been used so many times in the challenge before, which is fucking somebody to make sure that you're in an alliance with them. You know what I mean? That I've got they have my back because I'm making out with them every day. And I just listen, it's an effective strategy, but it's cheap.
Yeah.
It is. I obviously, with my relationship, not something I would ever do. But it's listen, I guess if you're single and you have interest, it's
apparently
smart for you,
even if you're not single.
Yeah, apparently if you have a girlfriend of 4 years who is unaware of what you're going to be doing on the show, you can still proceed forth and ruin that relationship in less than 24 hours, immediately. Like, I think the way that I picture how Rogan's brain was operating is during the period where we're, like, in a hotel, sequestered, he's just chomping at the bit to fucking cheat.
Yeah, dude, there's no way that dude hasn't cheated before. There's no way you can be that comfortable with it.
Which, again, Rogan was very nice to me. He actually was somebody that I was rooming with. So it was me, Rogan, Jake, and Gabe in a room together. It was a nice guy. But actions like that, especially when you have somebody at home who clearly loves you enough to make this dedicated post on Instagram for Valentine's Day while you are all up in some young, reality TV star. It's just gross, man. When I came off the show and learned about that, I was just disgusted. Like, I just don't condone that behavior. But
with Izzy? Sorry to cut you off.
Yeah, so that was with Izzy, and you can sort of see again in this like UK alliance conversation. Rogan's from the UK, Izzy's from the UK, Theo's from the UK. Theo's girlfriend is Olivia, so she's implicitly within that. Jake's from the UK, so like there's this already group that's metastasizing here that only gets worse. But yeah, the whole and then Johnny Bananas and D, that's the other romance plot line that gets going. And Dee's funny in the sense where the confessionals that she provides this episode 0 is, use men and lose them. They can serve my purpose. I'm going to manipulate them. But it's like, if you're making out with a dude for hours and doing all these other things, I sort of question, I'm like, are you getting manipulated? Like, like, are you really sticking to the game? Or are you just sort of saying that with hindsight in mind? I don't know. I guess we'll find out. But it's a stupid strategy. And it's very funny that on night 1, this is occurring.
Yeah, I guess the key with that strategy is it's like, in theory, if you could totally separate yourself from that, yeah, maybe that would work, but that never actually happens.
No,
if you're making out with somebody and sleeping with somebody, like, your feelings in some way are gonna get involved, unless you're a sociopath or something. So it's like, again, it's like you're like sitting there in your head, oh yeah, this is my game plan. But really, you're throwing yourself out there too. So it's a double-edged sword to play that game for sure. And so, yeah, I mean, if you were single, would you have ever considered a strategy like that or no?
If I found somebody that I clicked with that was also single, sure.
You wouldn't have pushed the strategy, but if it had been organic, you would have been fine with it.
If it had been organic and I could feel that there was something more authentic about it, why not? Obviously, the challenge isn't a dating show, but I'm not just going to be hooking up with some random person I don't fuck with on cameras in front of hundreds of thousands of people. Like, there has to be
secure an alliance or whatever. Yeah.
That's the cheapness of it. Like, if it works in my benefit and there is some genuine nature to it, I can get that. But like, I don't know. There's nothing genuine about either of these two politicking situations, right? and here's the other thing, Riley, that I think about is what if it goes south? What if you stop hooking up with that person, or you guys break up? Mid-show, right? So now it's drama. Now you've got a huge target on your back because everybody in the house is going to go, okay, who's stirring the pot? Who's throwing shit on the walls this week? It's this moron who was hooking up with a girl, and then he said something stupid, and now she's mad at him. Let's vote him in, right?
You know, Ben, to stop you, though, I think the problem that maybe you had, which is why you didn't get much airtime this first episode, is you're focusing on the challenge. You should have been focusing on the TV, because it's like at that point it's like, oh, look at all this drama. What do you think the producers are looking at? They're like, of course. Yes, bro, this is why we give you alcohol so that you do exactly this. You know,
me sitting on the couch just drinking water all night. They're
just
like
locked in as fuck.
Tomorrow
I gotta be ready for this challenge tomorrow. I'm
doing burpees in the gym.
Hydrating. You've got like hey, is there any more Gatorade in this house, please? I need to rehydrate, please.
I want some electrolyte tabs. I need some electrolyte tabs.
I need electrolyte salt. Can you salt it, please? And sunscreen for tomorrow.
They're all like fucking off in the kitchen, and I'm putting salt in the oven to make
organizing
my
your clothes for the next day. Just like super locked in.
I got a journal. I'm just writing tomorrow. Ironing. Where do you get a fucking iron? I don't know. He brought it. No, I do think that, again, in retrospect, or rather in reflection, there were instances, especially that night, where maybe going a little crazier could have worked to my benefit. Again, I was in this state of the first week or so of the show where, oh man, I'm got a huge learning curve. It's uncomfortable. It's challenging, hard. And I don't think I was able to really let loose until I could get past that. And I do. Like, I promise. There was one day where I got really drunk and kept slipping by the pool, and I had a wig on. I'm assuming that one's gonna have a little bit more airtime, than anything before it. But all right, I think anything before we want to take it to some of the Twitter reactions from the episode.
No, I think that's solid. I think we've given a good lens of what happened, because it wasn't that busy of an episode.
Yeah. All right, so talking about busy, though, here's a girl who got a lot of airtime. Let's take it to a clip of our fave, Blue Kim.
Prepared yourself.
Girl, I've been working. What a good day on the challenge.
I'm actually not a girl. Prepared yourself.
So I think it's very funny because, like, in this uncomfortable atmosphere where it's dark lighting, you've got the vets on one side, TJ's like stern, he's looking at you really locked in, and she's just like, girl, it's difficult. But it seemed like everybody's loving Blue Kim, which I have no issue with. She's great. I thought she was super nice. I'm curious, Riley, what was your takeaway from the Blue Kim segments from episode 0?
Yeah, same. Like, she just looks like a sweetheart, obviously playing it light, playing it fun. But at the same time, she dug deep when she needed to. So I think that's a good balance, right? Is a lot of people have a perception of somebody if they don't appear focused. But that doesn't actually necessarily mean that they aren't, right? Because that could just be a coping mechanism for her. So, yeah, definitely liked her. Definitely enjoyed her on the show for sure.
Let's take it
But I don't know if I would have thought she was a good partner, because it's like, again, even my own self there, like, you can gaslight yourself to be like, I don't know.
Could match with any challenge vet this season, I think it would be Theo. He's strong, he's tall. The other thing, he's got Olivia. Olivia, I feel like I know so much about Olivia already. I kind of want to work with her, and this is my chance to start playing the game. Do you know what's going to be? Whoever's first, then everyone wants to pick you. Wait, I'm hoping it's Jake. Because that would be such...
Okay, so my bed, for context, is above this one. So we can almost consider this a Ben cameo in this spot.
Yeah, we can feel your aura in this shot.
Yeah, my energy from the top right corner.
Yeah.
Good for West Pole.
Give me a team all day. I definitely can follow when I know it's needed, but I am a leader, and I'm back better than ever. And also, I may or may not have gotten hit with the golf ball in between my eyeballs. I don't know, DQ'd.
which is like that's
God.
crazy. She still has a scar. She had to get surgery. I think she said to me once that if it was like a millimeter over, she would have gone blind, and that was in a final. So it's like you are inches away from challenge champ, inches away from the grand prize, and she blows herself out with a golf ball, which is crazy.
From a final.
I love how they just DQ'd her too. They're like, yeah,
Yeah,
idiot.
You're gone.
Yeah.
He's got the strength. He knows the game. He was connected. And he's my boyfriend, so. And exactly.
Izzy's an amazing competitor so far, and I think she's ready to play this game.
So
She had to she had to slip that in there on Izzy. She was like, and he's mine, and he's not yours.
Yeah.
Do not bang my boyfriend,
Yeah.
please. That was so funny.
Don't even try. Don't even give it a
And
go.
he's mine. My boyfriend. That's my boyfriend.
But that does show like there were people on night one just automatically locked in, trying to finagle, politic, strategize, which I think is going to, without going like too into detail, be the wrong approach. Because to your point earlier, how like a lot of the vets weren't strategizing, playing the politic game, because it was so early in the show. There's
you're
no
working
real
with-
need.
You're working with such a little amount of information that you're blowing out of proportion the information you have. Like Jeremy, they're like, okay, this guy's fit. I must be a team. But it's like, you've done one evaluation. You don't know.
It's not reflective.
Right? You don't know exactly where his strengths are, where his weaknesses are yet. And you're trying to make these like big decisions based off that.
Another problem with it is if you're already in the mindset on night one of like, I'm going to partner with this person because they're connected, and then this domino is going to fall, and then that's going to fall, you're going to overwork yourself to an extreme extent because, again, 24 hours a day you're in this environment. If you're already just running the permutations of this, I feel like you're going to get burnt out. You're going to explode. You know, that's just – it's not the chill approach. And
Is that what happened to you, Ben? Did you burn yourself out by any chance?
I'm running all the combinations. So here, well, let's go through all of the teams really quickly ahead of the first challenge. So at the beginning, or this is in kind of a randomized order. So CT and Tay, Derek Chavez, blue, Derek Kaczynski, Lekka, Johnny Bananas D, Leroy and Sydney, Rogan Adrienne, Theo Izzy, Turbo America, Anissa, Leo, Ash Gabe, Aviv Yermi, Cara and Jake, Michaela Will, Nani and me, Nia Justin, and Olivia and Cedric. So kind of a lot of names on the board, which totally understand if there's too much and nothing specific sticks out. But who do you think is going to perform the best in this first challenge?
Definitely Ben and Nia for sure.
Even though we're not on a team.
Honestly, it's definitely because I'm biased and I know him, but Cornish, like Jake Cornish, I just...
He's a tank, dude.
He is just a beast, right?
Tank.
Yeah, so him and maybe Izzy and Theo, because she, again, I guess just because she seemed so locked in. She seemed so, like, ready to go that I would have some sort of assumption there that she could do well.
Okay. And then one of the last things I want to show you is this tier list that's already been created about the people on the show. So this is the episode 0 rankings from Foxy DMD. So in faves, you've got Sydney, Ashley, Blue, Justin, Nani. I think Olivia's right there. You seem cool. We can skip everybody and go right to Ben. We made it in this one. Then you got no thoughts, boring category, unsure. It's interesting that they're unsure on Yermi because, I mean, dominated the mountain. Seems like I don't know how people perceived him in episode 0 from his confessionals, but like, dude, long hair, broad shoulders, angled, chiseled face. Like, the guy has everything. Seemingly very nice, moral person. Like, I asked Tori, I was like, hey, like, what do you think about Yermi? And she's like, that's almost...
the problem, though. He's too good. Like, he's too... People don't like that. People don't like this guy that's like, yeah, I'm 6'4", 220, lean, and I run ultramarathons. Like, oh, and I'm handsome. Nobody looks at that and is like, yeah, this guy's so relatable. I like him a lot. Like, people are going to have just an inherent, hesitation around someone like that.
I'm perfect.
Yeah. I'm better than you. Like, get over it.
Yeah, no biggie. I hope you have a good time dealing with that. All right, last thing I want to show you. These are the screenshots from episode 1 that they posted at the end of it. So you can sort of see Johnny and Dee right here hanging out. You've got some balls in their little pit. Looks like America is getting pulled by Turbo. You've got this shot of Johnny and Dee, a lot of balls, everyone climbing up the sides of this sort of mountainous pit, and then here's kind of the grand macro landscape shot. Everybody fucking around in here with these balls. Out of curiosity, when you're sort of just seeing these, describe it. What do you think's happening?
I think that each team has a basket. There are a ton of balls inside the middle of the pit. Team that gets the most balls into their basket wins.
It's a very good thought.
Okay.
We'll see if you're right. I don't there's not really many other ways to cut that cake, right?
Yeah.
It's kind of obvious.
I don't feel like a mastermind guessing my guess there.
That's like someone putting a whiteboard in front of you and it's 2 + 2, and you're like, well, I think the answer's 4. You know what I mean? If I had to guess. It could be anything. But that was episode 0. So it seems like here, actually, lastly, I'll take it to just the latest on Twitter. So it seems like most of the fan base enjoyed the episode. We're a little surprised by it. Everybody's about Blue Kim for sure. She was the standout rookie. She's serving. I do think this screenshot's kind of funny.
Currently last place.
Last. But I don't know. I mean, it feels like there is a good vibe from the fan base, which I am all about. Like, I had a great time filming this, and there was so much coming that I think people are going to enjoy. That the fact that it's already being received positively is good. I take that as a good sign.
Yeah. I think it's going to be a fun season. Definitely a lot going on. Look, there he is, Ben in the bottom left corner. I just really hope we get some more of your airtime. Is it an episode a day? Is that how they film it? Like every episode they're filming every day they're filming a whole episode, or is it a couple days per episode? Because you were there for a while. Like you were filming for a long time.
It was a couple days per episode because I think you do the challenge and then there's the night out, and then the next day is where you do all of the deliberation and then the elimination, and then there's a couple days off, in between here and there. So it takes a little bit of time, and because there's so much that happens, and they want to cram it into a 60-minute time slot with commercials, it's like, of course, things are going to get pushed to the wayside, which is a learning lesson. Like, again, I do very much hope that there is a call back for yours truly on season 42, and seeing how the experience translates to the screen better informs, okay, maybe this is what I need to do. Maybe these are the choices I need to make to ensure that, they'll say that I stole the episode.
Yeah.
Really quickly, lastly, what do we think of the confessional fit? The flannel and the gray shirt.
Not bad. I like the other one a little bit better. But I just love seeing you in the turtleneck and the blazer. But that's fine. Yeah, that's not bad at all. It's better than your just sleeveless fit that you wear 99.9% of the time outside.
You don't
of
like
that.
the sleeveless fit?
No, I'm saying that's just your everyday fit. If you'd showed up there with that on, I would have been like, okay.
All right, Ben's lazy.
Yeah.
I did. That was like the second or third confessional outfit choice. I did initially want to do the sleeveless turtleneck for my confessional fit, but because
that's sick. Sleeveless turtleneck, sick. Yeah.
Right. Unfortunately, because it was a black turtleneck and the background is darker this season, they were like, we have to shoot that down. And I was like, well, damn, I wish I knew that.
Yeah.
I would have colored it white, Yeah.
You would have had some other orange turtleneck just blazing.
Dude. Just have a different turtleneck each episode.
Climbing up a mountain in the summer with turtleneck on.
Hey, man, listen, that would be something that gets screen time, right? Showing up in a stupid outfit. So learning lessons ahead of the premiere. But it's just interesting that we've got so much to go over and digest in episode 0, right? Kind of funny.
Yeah, I am really pumped for the next episode. But I think we've set up a pretty good standard here for what's to come. Ben, do you have any other final thoughts?
Nah, I think just stay tuned. The ball mud pit is an interesting day.
Could be
a lot
anything.
happens.
Could be anything.
Could be anything. We don't really know. But yeah, make sure you like and subscribe to this channel. We're really trying to build this during the challenge season. We're going to be providing reactions, recaps, previews all throughout the challenge season 41. And let us know down below who stood out to you most in episode 0. Was it Blue Kim? Was it Sydney? Was it Jeremy? I'm curious what left an impression. Thank you guys. We'll see you next week for episode 1, the premiere of the challenge season 41.